but it's wonderful. There's a great saving on this. Now I'm going to go through what's in it, but if you want more details, then go to the homepage on your website, whether it's sizzix.co.uk or sizzix.com. I'm going to start with one of the main die sets which comes with the June Craft Box, and that is the gorgeous wedding wreath from our own Olivia Rose. And what the main die that comes with this, you see that? Isn't that glorious? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? The detail in there, it's fantastic. But of course it works so well when you add all the little floral elements, and I have them here on a piece of card. So there's our little floral elements. There are 6 dies in total, including the big one. So we're going to come back to that in a second. Also, an old favourite of ours, we have the Framelits Oval Set. There are 7 dies in that set. Absolutely wonderful. Again, great for making backgrounds, or if you want to get an aperture window in your card or whatever it is, then you can use those. They are great and they mat and layer together. Now, of course, what are we going to cut with our Framelits and Thinlits? We have a really bold, fresh colour palette, which, as you can see, it's all your lovely summery colours, and there's some neutrals in there. Again, great for your backgrounds. And I'll show you some great colour combinations in a second using these colours. Now, next up, from our Opulent cardstock range. Now, there are 5, I think 5 or 10, I'm not entirely sure, but it will say on the website, we've got this lovely glitter card. This one is a soft touch matte card. We've got it's kind of a brushed pearl. We've got the gloss and the pearlized. So there's 5 very different textures, subtly different tones as well. They work so well together. You can just use these by themselves against a dark background. They look amazing. Now, remember I was talking before, I said about different color blends? Well, here are some using the colors that come with the craft box. So there's 1, there's 2, very, very subtle, that one, absolutely gorgeous. Then there's 3, that mermaid kiss color in the middle, wow, and that green just gives it the freshness. Then next up, now Father's Day is coming up. What a wonderful color palette for your Father's Day card that is. And then again, now this could be a really muted Christmas palette, but they're great. And the freshness again of that red really punches through. And finally, this probably my favorite of the 3. We've got the Mango Tango, the Mermaid Kiss, and this lovely blue, whose name, for the life of me, I can't remember. Apologies for which. But again, it's all on the website. Now, we're going to make some cards today, and we're going to be using minimal color palettes. So this is one example, you see, and this is taking the floral wreath and cutting bits off it to get that effect. Then, how about this one? Now, didn't I tell you that Opulent cardstock was gorgeous? And look at that, and you can see those subtly different tones there and the dimension given from the flowers. But the card we're going to make today, my friends, is this one. And again, we are talking dimension, so of course, to get that level of dimension, we are going to need to use our paper sculpting kit. But before I do, there are a couple more things in the craft box. It's the gift that keeps on giving. We've got a couple of lovely colours of glitter. Again, details on the website. And not only that, we've got a set of adhesive sheets. Now, the great thing about the adhesive sheets is if you attach them to the back of your cardstock and die cut it, then effectively it turns your die cut into a sticker. You just peel the backing off. Another thing you can do, and if you go back and look at the video that Jen Long made about a week ago, I think, then she showed how you can peel the backing off and apply the glitter to that. So it turns your ordinary cardstock into glitter card like that. So adhesive sheets, great, great product. Now, let's put that down there and let's start making our card. So, this is my background. This is one of the colours from the, I believe that's cobblestone, and this is caramel toffee. So these 2 colours obviously work beautifully well together, lovely and muted. And what I'm going to do, as I said earlier, I've die cut the wreath before, and I'm going to lay a couple of these down on my card thus. But this is where our paper sculpting kit comes in, and if you have not succumbed to the charms of the paper sculpting kit, then yeah, it's about time you did, because it's a wonderful, wonderful product. And what we're going to do is to give everything a little bit of dimension. What I'm going to do here is to take one of the styluses from the kit and just roll over the top of the leaves. There you go. Andy's coming in nice and close. He knows his onions, does Andy? He knows how to get the best shot. There we are. And there's one, and here's the second. And there's several different elements in the paper sculpting kit, including some wonderful tweezers, some great little scissors, perfect size for your paper crafting. There's all the styluses, there's a quilling tool, and there are 2 mats like this to get wonderful dimension in your cardstock. So that's ready to go. And next up, well, the first thing I want to do is actually attach those to the card. And today I'm going to use my glue gun, my wonderful Sizzix glue gun, and I'm just going to apply a couple of blobs of glue, one down there and one here. It just gives me immediate permanence when I stick that down. It's just there, ready to go, in place, ain't gonna budge. Of course, you have to be brave, because you want to make sure that that you're putting it exactly where you need it. But I've done this before, so I kind of know where I'm going with it. And there we have it. Now, I'll take my tweezers, because we're going to take all those little stringy bits off, which does come with a glue gun. It's one of the downfalls of using a glue gun, but it doesn't bother me, because I get that permanence. I know it's going to stick. Although you could use the Sizzix Express glue, that will give you an equally permanent fix. Now, the flowers, and this one is part of the set, that wedding wreath. And how do we turn that into a wonderful rose? Well, I'm going to show you now. Speaking of wonderful roses, it was designed by our good friend Rose. And I'm just going to twist that, so you see I've gripped it on the end with the tweezers. I don't need to hold the pressure on that, because the tweezers close automatically. And then I'm going to roll that to the center. Now, when I've got that there, I'm going to let it relax slightly before taking the circular part, or the base, and applying a little more hot glue, which is the main reason I'm using my glue gun today, to be honest with you. There we are. And I'm going to make sure that's firmly down, which it is. Then I'll take the tweezers. I'm going to curl over the edge of some of these petals, not all, just enough to get the effect that I'm looking for. There we are. Maybe a couple more. No, I think that will just about do it, actually. But see the difference? And can you believe that that just came from this die? Isn't that fantastic? Now let's put that to one side, because I'm going to die cut some of my flowers, because I can't show you the make without doing some die cutting. I could have pre-cut these to save a little time, but in truth, we've already got some ready to go anyway. So let's run them all through together. So this is the Mango Tango cardstock. And we're going to pop that on there like that. And we'll do this swirly one as well for good measure, even though we've already got the flower that we need. I'll wind that through. And there we have it. Simple as. As we know, with the Big Shot machine, we get a really clean, crisp, even cut every single time. And if I take that off there, we'll just pop the rest of them out, pop them down here in place. There's that beautiful swirly flower. I'm sure it's got a real name, but swirly flower does the job. And we'll pop that there. Another tool in this is there's the small ball end stylus, but there's this curved tool as well, which can act as a die pick should you wish. But the real reason behind this, and it's the reason for this other mat as well, is if you want to put a crease, say you've got a leaf and you've die cut it and you put it down there, what you can do with this is you can take it and run it down the center of said leaf. And this gives you a crease, but because you're not using the sharp end, you're actually holding the point away from the mat. You get a wonderful crease, and it's great for creasing your cardstock, whatever you want to do. So that's a really, really neat tool. Now, let's get back to business, because what I want to do, I'm going to start with my rose, and I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue on there, and that can go at the top. And because we're just using quite a minimal color palette as well, we want to get some balance in this. So next up, and that's the key when you're using monochromatic or minimal color palettes, it's getting the balance. So already by putting those two roses, and I'll hold this up so that you can see that, we've got that yellow at the top, really punchy, standing out. The blue, which kind of, it goes so well with this Mermaid Kiss color as well. So I'm going to build from there. That's my starting point. I've got the two biggest elements in, and we're going to fit the rest around it as we go. So let's take some of the elements from my paper sculpting kit. And remember, we need to get dimension. I want these to stand proud. So I'm cupping this now. I'm rolling it around. I'm not going too heavy. And then I turn it over before pressing down. And there it is. There's my flower. Fantastic effect, really is. And we'll do that with a couple more. So I'll take this one. Again, I'm rolling to the edges of the petals, turning it over, again, pop in the center. Now, we've got this lovely little stamen center as well. All I need to do with that is simply press down. Simple as. Now, what else can I do? Oh, let's take one of these. Let's take one of these. And then again, I'm cupping. I turn it over, and if you want, you can use the little stylus to get a really nice indent in there. So let's start getting that balance. Now, that blue there, I can use another large blue element. So I'm going to take this flower and I want to place it about there. So now I'm getting a bit of balance. So again, a little blob of hot glue. Yeah, I'm going to put that about there, I think. Now next up, I want to bring some more. I want to use this one, so that kind of makes sense. And again, we'll pop that flower in place like that. So we've got all this negative space going on. We don't want to be tempted to fill that. Let some of that come through. And these colours, the vibrancy of these colours really sing against that dark background as well. So we'll take the next one. So I'm working, you'll notice that I'm using all the larger elements to start with. And that's the way I like to work. So I'll come backwards from there. We'll get a little more yellow in there. Again, I'll reach for my hot glue gun. And where can we? Right, now, at this point, I want to put a sentiment on there. And what I've got here is a sheet of printed sentiments, which you can get if you go to our website. There's downloadable content. All you have to do is put in your email and you can download these ready to go. And I'm going to use the phrase hello. Now, rather than just cut it with the scissors or a craft knife or whatever tool you prefer, I'm actually going to use one of my Framelit dies. And I'll get it in place. Now, one of the problems with die cutting, whatever machine you have, is that these can slip out of register as you're going through the machine. But not if you have some of this wonderful maker's tape. This is a Sizzix product. And what it does is it holds your die cut in place so that there's no fear of losing registration as that goes through the machine. And I'll take my machine, sandwich it between the two plates and run it through. I know that some people like to use washi tape for this, but in my experience, not all washi tapes are created equal. And what can happen sometimes is they can be slightly too high tack and they can lift the surface of the card. But with this, with the maker's tape, you get a really clean, neat cut every time. There you go. Now, let's pop that in place. So, again, I'm going to take my glue gun, put a little glue across there, and we'll see where I've got some negative space, where I can put that. Now, I think I'll have it coming underneath the flower, like so, and just coming off that edge. There, that's perfect. Now, I need something up there. So I'm going to take a little yellow flower. I think, move this to one side, again, cup on the rear and press into the center, thus. There we are, bit of glue, and there we have it. One more, this is looking a bit bare here. Again, I'm trying not to be too tempted to overload this. I still want that negative space coming through, but that is the bare bones really of the card. But let's attach some of these stamen as well, because they really give it a lovely contrast when you put those in the center of the flower. We'll take the blues and we'll move that down. Now I'm not going to completely finish this card, because I'm going to show you, here's one I made earlier, because I'm very conscious that I don't want to waste your time just cutting and sticking and cutting and sticking. Now we've done the main part of this card, so I've applied double-sided tape to that. I'm going to place it onto my base card, which is made from the caramel toffee, that lovely rich brown colour. And all I need to add is a few more floral centres and a few of the little dots. You can see all these die cut dots, which is where your tweezers really pay for themselves. And here's the finished card right there. Very simple colour palette, very fresh and punchy, but using those neutrals in the background, which is the reason that we added them into the kit, makes a huge difference. There's the other one. So again, we've got that mango tango coming through. We've got that lovely purple colour, really fresh green in lush leaves. And finally, our old friend, the Opulent Ivory cardstock. Sometimes that's all you need. Lovely monochromatic palette with very subtle tonal differences and finishes to this cardstock. I'm sure you're going to love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for watching today. If you need any more information, go to sizzix.co.uk or sizzix.com. Go to the homepage and you'll get all the information you need about what's in the kit, the pricing, and it's a great saving as well. So, that's it pretty much. Oh, and go back and watch the other videos by the other designers. We've got some wonderful cards, we've got a scrapbook, we've got a framed make, there's all sorts going on. It's been very exciting working with these craft boxes. I hope I'm going to get a chance to do another one before the month's out. So thank you to Andy on the camera. I've been Pete. He's had a little smile, bless him. I've been Pete, and I will see you again